He's trying to take, I would say, just safe picks away from SBENU. And, you know, I feel like you don't really need to do a lot of target banning versus SBENU. You just sort of take all-around solid picks away. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you can take some of these easier-to-play champions, especially since Seoul can go onto Kennen or Aurelia, which, you know, if you're KT, it's pretty easy to shut down those champions if their individual players are not up to par. They're going to ban the Rise against Ssumday after the Maokai. So 2 top lane bans really so far, and there is Kalista not going to be picked up by Arrow. You have to believe that the first pick Sivir will come in here for KT.
Well, undoubtedly, that's what they're going to be trying to go for, as usual. I'd love to see something like a first pick Echo or something like that, but it's going to be the Sivir. There's a Hecarim ban against Ssumday rather.
Yeah, I'd love to see Echo as well. I mean, we did see SBENU play it already earlier this week.
Wasn't that great though? We actually haven't really seen the best Echo.
Actually, I thought Coco did pretty well.
You think so?
Yeah, his team was just.
I thought
CJ fell apart because Ambition and Shy could not find the proper flanks. It wasn't anything to do with Coco's individual play.
I thought he had a good early game, but it seemed like he looked very lost in late game. But you're saying that's just because they were behind enough that he couldn't really participate anyway?
No, I'm saying that CJ completely botched their team fight engages. So it wasn't that he was too far behind. He was actually ahead.
All right. Well, Echo ban against SBENU. And there's Yanni ban. Okay. Yanni ban against Fixer. All right. Well, he has been pretty good on that champion. So will it be the Sivir first pick again for KT? Alistar priority as well. They're going to grab it. Now, will SBENU take away the Sivir? Gragas still up 2, which is a champion that Catches played quite a bit of.
Wow, they're actually going to take Corki away right here. That is a bit interesting to grab this early on in the draft when you know that this Sivir priority exists. I mean, if you just look at KT's wins, it's just like Sivir, 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 Sivir.
It's very bizarre.
Okay, it's going to be Rek'Sai Sivir again. This is giving a lot of power picks over to KT. Now, we've seen Victor before from KT, of course from Nagne, but we'll have to check out how Edge does on the champion. Now, this is going to be a very strong engage composition already, and they have, well, they can kite very easily too with this Victor. We'll see which direction they go in terms of their top laner and their jungle.
True enough. A couple picks over to SBENU SonicBoom. And what do you go with to try to punish this Victor Sivir? It's kind of hard to punish a Victor Sivir, honestly.
It's one of the most powerful champion combinations, I think, in the game right now. You have good engage, you have good kiting for the Victor. Victor gets, you know, his weaknesses in terms of his low mobility are really covered up by a Sivir as long as you have enough peel for him. And even if you get assassins to try and punish him, he can just kite you out with his Q, his upgraded Q, and the Sivir speed boost in the late game. So Janna is going to be the lock-in here. Bit interesting. Rumble Janna not going for an engage support in this situation. Wonder what their mid lane pick is going to be. It's probably going to be something without a lot of mobility that needs peel if they're going to go for the Janna.
Now, how much kiting can you get out of this SBENU composition? Because if you think about, you know, pushing KT away when they try to engage with the Sivir ultimate, you know, can you really kite effectively between the Corki rockets, equalizer, stuff like that?
Sure. I really think it's going to depend on what their mid lane pick is to see how this composition comes together in the end. And they could go for the Rengar. They have the Sivir. It would be strong backline engage, but this Rengar is just going to kind of get bounced out of the fight.
Should be.
By a Gragas or a Janna. And the Rek'Sai, I think, is a much safer overall pick. And there is Sunday's Riven coming in again.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times. And will it actually be this Diana for SBENU? Jumped on it pretty quickly. And I wonder how Diana would do against Victor. You know, with the Q, with the ultimate, you could perhaps get around his gravity field fairly efficiently. But still, I mean, once you're there, what are you going to do?
Well, the problem with Diana is once you go in, he's going to drop the gravity field on his feet
on himself,
and then stun you. So I don't really think that's going to be very helpful. If we want to talk about champions that we've seen be successful against Victor, we want to start looking at champions like Ahri or Zed.
Right. Well, the Vel'Koz has been hovered over quite a bit by SBENU SonicBoom this season, but I don't think we're going to see them pick it. Q lock-in. Oh, they're letting it count down.
The mid Vel'Koz. The secret Victor counter. No, it's Jayce.
Oh, okay. Jayce fills similar functions to Vel'Koz, but just does much better.
So that explains the Janna pick now, that we have the Jayce. They've got good peel. They've got great peel for their poke build, good mix of AD and AP damage, and they also have the Gragas to isolate targets. And, you know, Jayce hammer stance, if you can get him in a 1v1 situation, actually does an obscene amount of damage. So he can really burst somebody down in melee form pretty quickly. So I have to say, I like this composition quite a bit from SBENU. It is going to be focused on a power spike in the mid game once the tier and the Trinity Force get rolling, as well with Rumble. But powerful combination. KT has some really good engage options, though. They're going to be relying on that Sivir ult and Alistar, but with the poke damage from Victor's Death Ray, Ssumday could have some options in terms of just executing people later on. And his split push is not going to be easy to stop as well.
Yeah, so can SBENU, you know, maybe get an advantage early on and then translate that into poke, into kite that keeps KT away? Is that kind of what we're looking at here? Is SBENU really needing to take the edge early? Yeah,
they got to get some turrets down very quickly in this game.
Seems that way.
And otherwise, no one's going to be able to deal with the Riven late is going to be the primary issue.
Unfortunately for them, KT already has the edge this game.
Oh
no, make it stop, quick, it's time to get in the game, guys. KT versus SBENU game 1, it's go time. How many edge jokes can we make? The answer is, I will try to not make any more. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Once again, guys, KT Rolster versus SBENU SonicBoom. You know they've got Charlie Nash coming back in Street Fighter V. He also throws out the SonicBoom.
Wow, I was really excited for that.
I know, right?
I haven't seen anything about Street Fighter V yet.
It looks really cool, man.
I know nothing about fighting games.
Used to be all I played, dude. Back in the day. Just Street Fighter, the Primal Rage, Killer Instinct.
That was way
Mortal
back
Kombat.
in the day.
Well, Primal Rage specifically. Yeah. I've kept up with Street Fighter, and that's about it. That's really the only fighting game I play now. I'm a dirty Zangief main. But I don't just mindlessly rotate the stick. I'm very thoughtful and very cerebral about my Zangief playing.
It doesn't sound like you at all.
Hey, you haven't seen me play Hearthstone, man. What are you talking about? Support is very cerebral. You got to think to get those bloodthirsty kills, man. You can't just run into people and press R like all the other champions.
You have to calculate precisely when you're going to kill steal with your Glitter Lance.
That's right, and we know math is my strong point, so I'm really good at it.
Well, Ssumday overall, interestingly on this Riven, is 4-2 lifetime.
Pretty good.
He's played it in a lot of situations, and he just seems to randomly pull it out, regardless of what the meta is. Now I'm sure, sees Smeb and is starting to get a little bit jealous here of the Riven success. Remember, he played it in one game in the finals of Champions Summer last year against Samsung Blue. He lost with it, but it's still something that he feels confident in. He does play it a lot in solo queue, and he always has.
Seems like it could be. I mean, we know Smeb's really good with it. We know Ssumday's good with it. Do you think this Riven could actually start to become a little bit more common of a pick? And that Wolf is going to kill Seoul. Goodbye. Wow. Dead to the Wolves. Well, it's a great start for Samsung. Well, or not Samsung, SBENU SonicBoom already.
He joined the Dyrus Club, dying to Wolves.
Oh, I feel bad, man. He looks really sad about that. Now I feel kind
of bad.
Well,
he is massively screwed, Noah.
Yep.
The reason why is not because that death really has any impact. He didn't hit level 2 off those camps, and now Ssumday hit level 2 and is in lane with him and is playing Riven, a champion that is going to wreck his face if he falls behind. And the other scary thing here is that if I was playing a game of League of Legends and Champions, if I had to pick one top laner I really didn't want to fall behind against, it's Ssumday, because his level of punishment when he gets an advantage is tops in this league. He is able to do more with the lead and hold the other top laner down for longer than just about anybody else. So this is a pretty big issue.
Oh, man, and Score could just totally camp this lane, too. I mean, Seoul with that teleport.
What are they going to do? I mean, they nose catches there right now. Score still coming in for the mid lane gank, and they're just going to go for it.
Wow, yeah, trying to force at least a summoner out of SaSin. That doesn't work. In fact, Score taking a lot of damage. Oops. Oh, well.
SaSin pulling back right there, and the tunnel just going a bit too far.
Yeah.
but they didn't really commit anything at all to that, so
well,
not the biggest deal in the world.
You would think just diving Seoul would be the priority now for KT. Just kind of continuing to try to punish, and we already see Ssumday putting down a pretty deep ward in the enemy jungle. Do you think this is setting up for some early action?
I think that they just really want to abuse Ssumday's advantage in the top lane, and so they're going to ward the top side. Score is going to repeatedly invade up there and just make it so Ssumday can constantly push this Rumble underneath the tower and then just gauge their dive based on that. It's a really smart strategy to use in this situation. You know, the Riven pick is very interesting to me because she can do obviously very well in lane. And considering how much burst damage we have going on these days, or at least poke damage, we see the Corki and the Ku Tigers, the way they like to run that Riven is they take a poke comp and then they just use the Riven to clean up fights with that big execute on the Wind Slash. So I think Riven is pretty decent these days, especially when the poke comes in and then Riven flanks you with a teleport. It is nasty stuff. And we saw Speb with a pentakill on that Riven, our first ever top lane pentakill.
Yeah, look pretty strong doing it. Score thinking about trying to come in again. We'll see if SaSin pushes forward here. I think he's going to play it pretty cautiously, though.
I'm still waiting for the support pentakill, Doa.
Yeah, someday it'll happen.
So we haven't had jungle or support pentakills yet. Just AD carry and mid, pretty much every time except for one lonely Smeb Riven pentakill now.
Well, it's the way the damage usually ends up working.
It's just fun to see what a diverse meta we have right now for top lane coming in around the world these days. We've seen that Echo coming into the top lane, so we have so many picks that can be used. We've got mages, we've got tanks, we've got bruisers, got assassins. It's a really, really good meta, and it also means that as a team, you have to have a very good top laner these days. Otherwise, your strategy is going to be pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah. Well, they see Catch coming into the jungle here, but Catch also gets a ward down to spot Score. Going to see him head down to mid. Meanwhile, SaSin getting a little bit of time to farm up as Edge went back. Looks like upgraded his Hex Core. Oh, Headbutt Pulverize. A lot of damage on the Nuclear here. Shield from Spirit helping a lot, though. Arrow's not going anywhere, though. Getting a lot of good autos in.
Yep, Arrow just walking forward on the Nuclear. There's a Boomerang Blade. I mean, Arrow's been very good on the Sivir. And, you know, KT got a lot of very good power picks in this composition. And the scary thing is that if they can free up Fixer from lane, the tower dive is going to be pretty terrifying to deal with the Riven and Alistar together against this Rumble, even if that equalizer is available. Which it is, and it was just used to clear out the wave.
Okay. So not a lot to worry about for KT in the near future as far as what Seoul can bring to a team fight. Goes with the Magic Pen boots first, too.
I don't know about that. Let's see how Ssumday responds to it. He's just going to push the wave up and go back while Seoul walks into lane. Edge holding his own so far. SaSin not getting too much of a CS advantage, but it's just mostly been that farm fest, of course.
Yeah. Not a lot of action paid to the mid lane just because of the weird situation up in top. But as I say that, Catch coming in. No
time
wards.
for Camp the Rookie.
I think so.
Every team's favorite strategy, of course, but Score's there. He's got the Tremor Sense, so he knows exactly what's going on. And
he's playing Protect the Rookie this game. He knows how this Camp the Rookie game works.
Well, you know, Rookie went to IG, so he can't protect the Rookie as well as he used to be able to.
It's true. He's on his own now. Has to spread his Rookie wings and fly. In China, I guess.
So, Ssumday comes back with the Hex Drinker.
Reasonable.
Very reasonable choice. Couple wards as well. See how deep he wants to go with them or what their plan is. It's pretty just calm early game here. By the way, guys, we are still on 5.10, so those Jayce buffs have not come through yet.
Right.
But we've seen Jayce in Korea, especially Coco, pulling out the pick from time to time. So it's definitely not a common pick if you don't watch that much Korean League of Legends, but a viable pocket pick, I would say, for certain players. And one thing, I would say the other bright spot on SaSin, besides Nuclear's play occasionally, or on SBENU, has been SaSin's champion pool. He's actually played a lot of different champions this season.
Both SaSin and Nuclear, yeah, have been somewhat of a bright spot in SBENU in that they're willing to sort of be diverse as far as their picks go. It's a good start anyway. I think this is like SaSin's 9th champion this season or something like that.
He's played a lot of different champions. He's played Assassins, he's played Lulu.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing him play with Poke champion. Their draft looks good this game, and you know, it really hasn't been SBENU's draft that's been the issue. It's been their method of execution and their individual abilities. They just can't make the big plays on their own, and they can't really work as a team. So with that, you have not very good League of Legends resulting.
Man, look at the top lane lead that Ssumday has acquired in CS. 82 to 49 right now, just really, really punishing this Rumble hard. Well, and when you start with the Magic Pen boots, too, you have like no extra health. You have no real presence in lane. Starting with the boots is kind of weird.
I mean, this would be a hard lane if they were even, but the fact that he died to the Wolves makes it absolutely unbearable for this Rumble.
Yeah.
And there's just this constant threat of Ssumday going to be getting a gank and then taking him out in that top side. And Score has done a very good job of repeatedly getting wards so that Ssumday knows that he's perfectly safe to keep pushing. There we go.
There's a flash knock up onto SaSin. SaSin flashing away as well. Can Edge get him? Not quite. Looks like the Ignite. Chaos Storm, not enough. I guess there was no Ignite there, but the Chaos Storm, not quite enough damage to finish him off. Has to go back, though. Catch coming to take over the lane while SaSin goes back and buys. Edge might have to do that, too.
I don't know why Edge has exhaust.
Huh.
Because he's playing against a poke comp right here. I guess he's worried about a Jayce all-in Hammer stance. It's the only thing I can think of.
Could be.
But, I mean, I'm not very familiar with this matchup, so maybe that is a factor that I'm unaware of in the matchup, is that the way Jayce wins, because Victor can't escape, is just to use To the Skies on him and start hitting him in hammer stance after like landing a shock blast and chunking him out or something like that. But you would think that Ignite would be a more powerful option here.
Well, I've seen a lot of Victors go with that Ignite. You know, Faker was the first one, but if it's not Ignite, it's usually Cleanse. This time Exhaust. Interesting. So Edge maybe just kind of playing it extra safe against this Jayce. A little bit overly safe, but it's his first game ever. You know, he wants to be very comfortable in lane.
Yeah, and it'll be hard for him to use the Ignite in the late game anyway, because no one's really going to be close enough to him with how much poke and how much range they have.
Yeah.
So, at least in an ideal situation, and at least in the late game, if they do happen to get close to him, he will have that exhaust to use. Maybe on Rumble as well, in the front line.
Enough. SaSin's taken a lot of damage to his turret so far, already at about half health. Nuclear and Secret holding on pretty well in the bot lane. And Ssumday really gunning for that flame tries. And here we go, Score, punch burling in. There's a knock-up, and SaSin. Oh, man, thank you, Raptors. Edge gets the first blood. SaSin just decides to the skies, the Raptors.
Oh, wow.
Whoa,
Edge
nice
getting knocked
barrel.
into the turret right there. He's going to have to run away.
Yeah, puts a gravity field on himself to try to stay safe. Here we go. Exhaust on to Catch as Score comes back over the wall. Catch trying to stay alive. Edge coming in to try to finish him off. Can't quite get it, though. Fixer was there, too. It's a good play by Catch, but Edge just had too much support.
Yeah, and that Victor, once you put the gravity field under your feet, you're able to do a lot right there, and he got out of the range of Catch by using the Q also. Already has that upgraded on his Hex Core, so...
Uh-oh, it's time for dive. Soul getting knocked out from under his turret. There's a pulverize as well. Fixer taking a lot of turret damage. Equalizer goes down, does quite a bit of damage to Ssumday, but not quite enough, as Fixer with his ultimate is able to tank his way through those turret hits, and an easy dive for KT and a kill for Ssumday.
Well, that's exactly what I thought would happen once Fixer hit 6. Just go into that top side, start abusing that lead. 40 CS, the advantage for Ssumday already as he cleans up the rest of this wave right here. And now Soul's in a really difficult position. Does he actually TP to the top side? He's going to lose even more experience. He's still a level down. Or is he just going to walk to the top, lose that CS, and then Ssumday maybe gets a play onto this Dragon? Fixer's here clearing out wards. Catch really wants this red buff. They have to get something, but that is going to be found out.
Yeah, headbutt pulverize, gets smited. Catch, I think he was able to actually grab that. Yeah, he did. Okay, so they did take the red buff. So mission accomplished there. Now, what if, you know, SBENU wanted to just lane swap? Is it too late for that? Do they give up too much dragon control?
They would definitely give up the dragon in that case. They have to focus on this power spike that's coming up for them. They're not too far behind in gold yet, and especially because the Rumble, it's not going to matter too terribly much that he doesn't have that many items at this point in time. Seoul actually had to get home guards just because he's been pushed back out of lane so much, and he needs to have that teleport up to make it 5v5, or the risk is they fight a dragon at a 5v4. Catch doing his best just to solo the dragon right now, score on top. They should have some suspicion that this is going on.
He's going to try. It looks like SaSin's going to come down and help a little bit. Oh, one shock blast. That's all you get. Okay, never mind. Secret coming up to help as well, too. There's the ward. So they do know it's up, but it's a little bit too late. And SBENU manages to grab the first dragon for themselves.
Very sloppy control there, actually, from KT. But SBENU manages to sneak that dragon in. Ssumday just not going to teleport into that. No really good teleport ward. And because Score was taking their red buff right there, they just couldn't have any control. And his Void Rush was down, so there wasn't really much they could do.
I suppose not the biggest concern for KT that SBENU got that first dragon. Look, they're going to get the top turret. So,
I mean,
still
Rumble
having that nice gold lead either way.
Rumble has gotten 5 CS in the span of time it took Ssumday to get 20 more.
That's crazy.
So he's been farming ever since that last recall at 1/4 rate. It is an unmitigated disaster what happened in this top lane in this game. And, I mean, Ssumday's going to be a monster. And it's even more problematic because now that the Tiamat's done, who can stop Ssumday split pushing? No one. No one can stop it.
They need to commit a lot of people to do that. And when they commit, they're going to lose more turrets. Another lanes. Meanwhile, that mid turret almost down. Edge managing to poke that, and you know, perhaps a soft opponent in SaSin, but Edge still untested as well and doing pretty admirably in this 1v1. Meanwhile, action down at bot lane. Secret getting very low, but with that whirlwind, he should be able to escape, and he will.
Yep. Catch just wandering down to that side of the map as well. Score. I got some wards in the river, but that's about it. It's just all about powering up Ssumday right now and snowballing the victory that they've already accrued in the top lane. Seoul's going to show those Wolves who's boss this time around.
You know, it's almost looking like Ssumday is going to be able to hit the flame horizon while still in laning phase. That's a bit insane.
It's not good.
No, not good for Seoul. Wow.
I can't wait to see Ssumday start getting into team fights with this lead that he has right now.
I know.
It's going to be ridiculous. I mean, nobody on this team even has armor. Ssumday's going to slaughter everyone.
Well, imagine just like the AoE between Sivir, Victor, and Riven. It is going to be disgusting, guys.
All Ssumday needs to do is like hop into the middle with broken wings and hit his Tiamat once and then press R, and then the entire team will die.
Yeah. Basically. There goes the bottom turret too, so just within the span of a minute or two, KT able to take down all 3 outer turrets. That gold lead already 5K at 17 minutes. Yeah. You used the term unmitigated disaster earlier. I think it's applying all team-wide at this point. It's not just the top lane.
Yeah, this is red alert for SBENU SonicBoom at this stage. We're only 17 minutes in, and remember, there are only 2 kills. But KT is 5,000 gold ahead. Oh, goodbye, Seoul.
Yeah, Seoul in a lot of trouble. Ssumday manages to find him. There's a stun. Seoul still in a lot of trouble. No flash, and there it goes. An easy 1v1 for Ssumday. That wasn't even really a 1v1. That was like just a one person killing somebody trying to run away. There was no versus part of that fight.
And this is how Ssumday plays. You know, when he goes even, sometimes he has some problems. When he falls behind, he sometimes has some problems. But man, if you get this guy ahead, he just takes over the map. I mean, his level of domination of this game, basically nobody can go into the topside jungle at this stage. They've got the wards down. He's working really well with Score, and he's taking every single camp, and he's killing you if you walk anywhere close to him. So this is why I say that Ssumday is the last person I would want to die to Wolves to first, because that level advantage has been just snowballed out of control before 20 minutes.
Oh, Score's going to jump on Ssumday, or Catch rather here, do a little bit of damage to him. That's got to hurt so bad to die to Wolves like that as well. I mean, geez, how does that happen?
Well, I mean, We've actually seen it very close a couple times now when players play Rumble because they really want to get that level 2 and use the TP before going into lane.
I mean, to be fair, oh, here we go. Headbutt, pulverize, score, and Fixer trying to mix it up a little bit in the jungle. Here comes Arrow. Arrow pops his ultimate. Soul coming down to try to provide some moral support. There's a kill on the catch already. Ssumday exhausted, but he manages to get the ult off and take out Secret. And meanwhile, more action. Wow. Nuclear just disappearing, man.
I'm pretty sure the only damage Ssumday is taking right now is from turrets as he dives them.
Probably. Probably.
Very clean series of events right there. Ssumday just going to smash this turret to smithereens with the help of Arrow. And they back off afterwards after picking up even more kills. Ssumday has a Hydra and cooldown boots.
Hail Hydra.
He's 2 levels up now on the enemy top laner. He's rapidly approaching that Flame Horizon. There we go. Nice engage from Fixer. And SBENU can't fight this. They have an ulting Alistar in the middle of them right there. They can't do any damage, and it's just easy cleanup from Ssumday. Secret gets the exhaust down, but Ssumday just waits for it to fade before finishing him off with the ult. And now here we go. Nuclear under the turret, but a very quick headbutt pulve combo from Fixer. And they kill him and the tower as well. 4 turrets to none. And if it wasn't for that single dragon that they got earlier, we would be looking at the possibility of a perfect game from KT Rolster.
Yep, doesn't look like SBENU's going to get much more this game. Just the sheer amount of burst coming out of KT right now. This takes down people so fast.
Yeah, it's terrifying. And the thing is, SBENU is now 8K down. They're never going to be able to hit the power spike that they need in order to siege effectively, and they have to be scared out of their minds with so few turrets. If, in order to siege, they have to push up away from safe territory from the turrets for so far that KT's going to have a really easy time getting behind them.
Soul flashing back Ssumday, not really even taking much damage off of that turret, able to heal up off the minions too.
Okay.
Used his ult, so that's going to be down for a little bit, but it's not going to save the turret.
Well, he's on the run still. There's some turret damage. Equalizer goes down. He's going to try and use his R. He doesn't need it to kill Soul, though, and he knows it.
I don't think so.
Janna's here, too, just to try and save Soul as they run around in the jungle. But that's, again, doesn't matter. Ssumday's denying CS while he does this. They're just melting into the turret at the moment.
I think KT kind of playing around at this point, too, you know?
Oh, no, I think
so far ahead.
I think Ssumday should absolutely just be in everyone's face right now doing this kind of stuff because he's so far.
Yep, he's certainly in their face right now. No ult, no needed. Fixer getting a little bit low. Backs away.
Cow.
Chaos Storm doing a big chunk of damage to SaSin. Fixer managed to make it out of that.
The poke from Edge is doing a ton of work at the moment as well. They're just going to transition this straight into a dragon while Fixer goes home to get some HP. But Ssumday has that lifesteal on the objective. He's gonna be able. He's nearly got his ultimate back up again.
Yep. Well, dragon. Whoa! Yeah, Nuclear managed to steal it with the big one. Nice rocket from Nuclear. So that's 2 dragons now for SBENU.
I mean, Score didn't have smite there.
Yeah, a bit of a cocky dragon from KT. LOL.
That was.
It's a bit embarrassing.
That was embarrassing. Ssumday's still going in though. Okay.
Oh, now the anger begins. And Ssumday not quite able to hit the range on that ultimate because of the whirlwind. They're still going to be able to push these turrets fairly easily.
Going for more cooldown reduction right now as well. Ssumday, that Kindle gem. See what he's going to do with it. Could be, I'm not sure where he's going. Could be a Spirit Visage.
Could be.
Well, they can pretty much take the Baron whenever they want right now. KT with so much damage on their team that they can melt the Baron very fast.
Yeah. KT, though, the type of team, I suppose, to close things out kind of methodically. A little bit on the slower side.
They do like to dive turrets, though. That is definitely within their character. So
they do, but when it comes to like really pushing big lane advantages and things like that, I feel like we don't see them do that as often.
They like to kill people. That's what they like to do.
Exactly.
KT wins usually have quite a few kills in them. And looks like they're going to keep up that trend. Again, nobody being able to stop the Riven means that she's going to be able to push up in this bottom side and meet a challenger directly at that turret in the bottom lane. Problem for Seoul is he's so far away from getting a Zhonya's Hourglass that it's not really going to be in the cards for him to even deal with this Riven remotely for probably the rest of this game, given the gold lead. But if we also take a look at, I mean, it's just, man, the level advantage is now up to 3 for Ssumday. It's so crazy to think about how SBENU has to deal with this. Riven is 2 levels higher than anybody on their team.
Going for that fast level 18. Looks like they're going to get the tier 2 turret up in top lane, while Edge just zones a bit, putting down that gravity shield, or field. There goes the turret. 5 turrets to 0 so far. And SBENU not really able to mount much of a damage throwback there.
Well, what are they going to do? It's too much. I mean, look at that. There's 4,100 gold at 24 minutes into this game that Ssumday has over Seoul. He passed the Flame Horizon at about 21 minutes.
Yeah.
The level of this destruction out of Ssumday is just incredible.
It would mean that Ssumday, too, has about half of the lead that KT has over SBENU right now, too.
Yes, yeah, just by himself. That's what is so dangerous about him. KT, not only Ssumday, but his team knows how to play around the fact that he's ahead, as we saw from Score multiple times in this game. Very smart, intelligent jungling coming out of KT's jungler. And now they're wrapping around this turret. There's a flash, actually.
Yeah, they're going to try to make a play here. Edge push out, but he gets right back to safety. Here we go. Fixer coming from the side, and that is a nice set of CC to get KT a couple kills on the run now. Fixer's still taking turret damage, but it will go down. So it was a nice attempt by Catch, but Fixer, or Edge rather, was ready to get out. Fixer and Ssumday coming in with the plays.
Well, they had to do something, right? They don't have a Baron yet, so this is probably their best chance to face KT. Catch thought he could actually find Edge there with a flash explosive cast, but in the end, Edge, quick fingers, gets out of there before he can get the CC chain going on. And with Ssumday already behind the turret, he's there to clean things up. 4-0-0 this game.
Yeah.
And they see him in that brush, so he's going to have to take a hike. Put down a ward first, though.
He will take a leisurely stroll, you know? Not really needing the hike, per se. It doesn't, like, hike involves some sort of, like, arduous walk, right?
It's true. He's just got teleport. He doesn't have to walk at all. He's just a lazy, lazy bum.
Yeah. This looks more like a, like a stroll. Look at that. It's very casual. He's like, woo, skipping for joy. I bet Riven would do very well in the hop, skip, jump event. You ever do that back at track meets in, like, grade school or something?
No.
They called it the triple jump because hop, skip, jump doesn't sound cool enough. You know, I have or for a long time, I don't know if I still did, I had the standing long jump record at my middle school. So there's my claim to fame. How about that?
He says, well, famously on broadcast.
Yes.
I'm glad that's what you hold nearest and dearest to your heart out of your accomplishments.
I'm proud of that, man. I can't remember how far it was, but it was far.
You were just one step away from the Olympics, I'm sure.
That's right. When they put that event in the Olympics, I will be there. Standing in place and then jumping forwards. It's pretty sick. Yep. I remember people tried to break it. They couldn't do it. Just like SBENU's going to try to break KT. They've got about as much chance as anyone trying to break my standing long jump record.
So what was your middle school, in case there's any... Oh, okay,
here. It was huge. Oh, Score coming in. Gets a knockup. And there's a nice headbutt pulverize. Oh, man. Ssumday comes right over the top. Janna tries to separate everybody, but dies before she really gets much from the ultimate. So only 2 kills coming out of that. KT having to back away, but without Secret's ult, that would have been an absolute slaughter.
Well, and the very critical exhaust onto Ssumday there from Secret as soon as he got into the mix, because that was just a massive flash Riven play to lock everyone up, and he got everywhere right in the middle of that composition for another couple of assists on that play.
Yeah. Man. Secret prevented that from being an ace, actually.
Oh, of course, Black Cleaver coming in. How silly of me. Yeah. Of course, that's naturally going to be the item right there. I thought he might go for a little bit more defense considering how far ahead he is, but he's just going to go full offense right here. Ssumday trying to deny the poke on this Baron, and that's going to do it. Score secures it with the smite.
Yep. See, when's the Zerat's portal coming in for Ssumday? He needs a little bit of tankiness, I think, you know?
The Manor portal.
That's right.
Where is his Ulm Wrecker so he can dive them with 0? Because that's the only thing that's been dealing damage to him.
Exactly. Turn off the turrets. Well, I mean, ignore those Corki rockets. That was just long-range turret, guys. He needs the Ulm Wrecker, though. I agree completely.
More Ulm Wrecker.
Yep. I like the concept behind Ulm Wrecker, but the problem is that it seems like you really can't give it great stats, otherwise it's just going to become like way too good.
Yes.
So because it has bad stats, the ability suddenly doesn't become worth it. But if you want the ability to be worth it, you have to give it stats that make it good enough to then make it overpowered.
Yes.
So it's just an item that will never actually function.
I agree with you on that. So I really do.
Oh well, nice try. It's a cool concept. I say just, they can't really turn into a champion ability. Well, they kind of did with Bard, I guess, but it doesn't directly target turrets, though.
Okay, well, here we go. Split push coming in. Of course, they have that Rek'Sai. They have that teleport on the Riven, so doing the 1-3-1 perfectly safe for them, but somebody's gonna join the team right in the middle. And look how much damage he's doing.
Oh, yeah. That turret taking a lot. KT being careful about this, though, not really wanting to overcommit too much.
No, they don't have to. They have so many options. They've got a wave pushing in on the top side as well. And the poke here, they're being very wary of the fact that SBENU can kite this out. They may not want to dive it, especially with such little HP left on that mid lane turret.
Yep. And here we go. Yeah, coming into the ultimate now. Secret tries to push people away. Doesn't really do a whole lot. Equalizer hits pretty much nobody. Kill comes in for Arrow already. And KT's like, all right, now we'll take your turrets and your inhibitors. Ssumday is just like, I'll zone, guys. Whoa, that was a lot of damage with the ult.
Basically, that means if Secret is at 50% HP, he will get executed by that ult.
He will die. That's true. He nearly did there. Yeah, it's looking pretty much like this one's going to end in the near future here. Baron buff nearly done now for KT, but they don't really need it. Wow, look at the damage from that Ssumday's taken from the turret. It's pretty significant. There we go. And meanwhile in the bot lane, yeah. Another inhibitor taken down. Ssumday's going to take the top one. And KT's total dismantling of SBENU is nearly complete now.
Exhaust onto Ssumday once again. Is he actually going to get the kill? No, can't quite reach it with the Wind Slash Secret. Close to dying, but not quite there.
Yeah, well, all three inhibitors out of the way for KT. Now all they need to do is just, I would say, one more back, get the health up, come back into lane, and just wreck people in the base, I guess.
Wow. Well, this has been impressive. Those two dragons, the only thing saving, and one of them was a rocket steal from Corki.
Yeah.
The only thing saving SBENU from getting perfect game here, 0 towers, 0 kills, and just total domination by KT Rolster. And you know, they have a good composition. They look like they may have gotten it together after their last couple of matches. This is definitely a return to the very clean style of play that we were seeing from them earlier in the season before they hit some road bumps against IM and Coup and then Anarchy, where especially the Anarchy game was so weird because in game 2 they had a spectacular advantage and managed to throw.
I mean, it's SBENU too. I mean, KT, you'd have to expect anybody's really going to look pretty crisp against a team like SBENU SonicBoom.
Well, except I am.
Except I am. Well, I am. That's a whole different conversation right there. Oh, Ssumday comes in, decides to try to get a kill on the catch. Nearly does. He's in your base, killing your mans. There's the equalizer going down. Everyone just sort of dancing around it a bit. Fades, and now the Nexus turret's under threat, of course. And KT. How shall they engage? There we go. Sivir ult used. Going to just pick up the kill on the Nexus turret. SBENU scared away by the sound of the ult. And the advancing KT team more than anything else. There goes the second Nexus turret. Ssumday gets pushed back. Stays back. Not going to really worry about it too much as they can take out the Nexus. Fixer goes in for a bit of action. And more kills. Easy peasy. And there goes the Nexus. So at 33 minutes, complete destruction. KT Rolster just destroys. Destroys in a way we do not see very often. SBENU SonicBoom.
At the end of that game, Ssumday had over 14,000 gold,
Wow.
and Seoul had about 7.5. So he nearly doubled the amount of gold in that one position that game. And yeah, sure, there were leads across the map, but Ssumday, holy cow. That was, and it started off that death right at level 1, but Ssumday took that lead and the advantage that you have with Riven as a strong laner and just turned it into that dismantling of SBENU SonicBoom.
Poor SBENU too. I mean, it started so off with Seoul dying to the wolves, getting way behind, you know, helping Ssumday, who is already good on that Riven, get that strong start. Just nothing but awful things, awful things happening for SBENU there.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. We'll see if they can bounce back, and without that massive blow to their early game, make a bit more difference in the next one. But that said, KT, very clean, very dominating win.
Yep. Well, when we come back, you'd expect KT to try to close it out with another clean win, get that 2-0. And SBENU, we'll see what they've got up their sleeve here. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back for game number 2 right after this.